That's no moon.
It's nooch too good. Greetings, everyone. It is I, your beloved and loved Star Wars dad, and I am here with everybody's favorite guitar. Here, I don't know, SoloBass. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
I am great. So tell me first, since I mentioned it, where's the name come from?
So, I mean, you basically got it. It was the 15 comes from I was 15 years old learning to play the bass, and so I was doing it all on my own. So I was learning solo. That's very creative for a 15-year-old.
Hey man, whatever. Did you learn how to read music too, or are you just learning it sight music, I guess?
I was basically using tabs. So I played a little bit of music when I was younger, so I knew the basics. Though now I've completely forgotten it. But I was basically learning off of tabs back then.
Okay. Well, cool, man. Well, welcome aboard, and I don't know. Let's take a look at the roster. So everybody, SoloBass is on Twitch. If you haven't checked him out, the channel's is it SoloBass 15 or SoloBass?
SoloBass 15.
Okay. I will put the link in the description so everybody's got it as well. Out there streaming Grand Arena, and what else do you stream? Anything else?
That's it for now. I might change things. I might change things in the future.
All right, well, we'll just leave it at that then.
Yeah.
A mysterious tease.
Well, it's because I've started to get into some other games that I might branch into, but I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
Everything takes work.
We will see what happens. So this is I was just talking to the playbook earlier, and you both are sitting at 11 million on your roster. He was about to go try Secrets and Shadows with his Marin, but you've got a 5-star Marin. Are you going to pump her up for that or no?
Not anytime soon. She'll be pumped up because I need her for the event, but Secrets and Shadows is something I kind of intentionally forget occurs.
It's been a brutal assault battle for a long time.
Yes.
Even before they added the third tier, it was like getting through the second tier when you used to not. We couldn't auto those for years, right? And so you had to go play through it every single time, and that second tier was so RNG was Sidious. It was that was a brutal thing.
Oh my! It wasn't worth the time. It was not worth that time. Maybe when I get Marin, I'll watch Fatal and I'll see what happens. But I'm not rushing Marin for.
There you go.
Yeah.
So tell me about your story. When did you start playing Galaxy Heroes, and what brought you to where you are now?
So my story's a little fun. Maybe not a little fun. My brother-in-law was playing it when he visited the house one day. And this is probably 2 months after it opened up. So I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. And then I didn't download it. 2 months later, I was like, I'm bored. Let me find something to do. And so I thought of the game. I downloaded it. I played it. This is the important part. I played it until I got to level 59. And then I stopped playing because I got bored of it. Because it was when it first came out. So, there was no pit raid. There was no guilds. It was just the game, collect the heroes. And there wasn't even a ton of heroes.
Yeah.
So I stopped at level 59, and why that's so important is because I picked the game back up 6 months later. Fleets came into the game, and so I wasn't entered into a fleet arena shard. So I picked the game back up. I played for a day. I hit level 60, and I got into a new fleet shard. So I had an old school arena shard, but I had a brand new fleet shard, which carried me for a while. Now,
were there crystals in Fleet Arena when you got back into it? Because that took a couple of years.
Not yet, but
okay.
There were Zetas. The ever important Zeta materials. That was, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, good. What you planned that perfectly is what I would say.
I failed successfully.
He failed up. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Just like working for the government, you can fail up and you're in good shape.
Exactly.
So tell me about young Han Solo. Why is he Relic 5?
Young Han, because of the pit raid, or not the pit raid, the Sith raid, way back when. He's how you got your 2% when the Sith raid first came out. On Phase 2, there was a Kira team with young Han Solo that got your 2%, and then ever since then, he's just been a fun time. He also, in 3v3, this is the very start of 3v3, before Galactic Legends, when Darth Revan was the scariest thing on the board. It was him, Vandor, and not young Lando, it was just OG Lando. They would beat any timeout team because he ramps damage, and so it was like a 4-minute battle. It was awful, but it beat any timeout team, which back then, the scariest thing in 3v3 was a timeout team on the back wall. So he's gotten use. He's gotten use.
I remember back then I would throw a Barriss and Kanan team on the back wall. And and people really, I would get holds of that all the time. So that's a really good point. And somehow, Vandor Chewie has made his way in and out and in and out and in and out of the game from the first he came out until today. You know, now he's in there with those Dash Rendar squads.
Yeah, it's amazing. He will always find use, whether it's on a Ray team now or Dash, or you find a team and he'll find a home.
Or I guess maybe a Wookiee team at this point, right? I mean, I haven't seen the... I hear Legends. I haven't really taken the time to watch anything yet.
I've heard stories. I haven't... My Tarful is still sitting at 3 stars, so
yeah.
I kind of have decided I'm not going to worry about it until he hits 7.
So, what was I had something to ask you. I'm looking through your roster. I see a bunch of Gear 12s. I see your Ewoks and Jawas. You know, that was the most interesting thing. I did see somebody here. Your Death Trooper is Relic as well. What was he used for when you first got him up?
Death? That's a good question. I mean, he used to be on the OG Trooper Squad. Yeah,
he would have been.
Now then Dark came and Death went the way of the dodo. But yeah, no, he used to be the damage dealer on the Trooper Squad. I miss those days.
Or getting that Death Mark on. I mean, when he first came out with Death Mark, it was a serious plug and play ability you could use in a lot of different places.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So what's your take on the Krayt Dragon stuff that's going on? Where are you sitting on that?
I am in one of the 4 guilds that beat the 265 box on the very first shot. And so I'm loving it. Everybody on Wednesday, you know, actually by the time this comes out, everybody else will get to experience what we experienced on that first raid and the second raid, because we already completed our second. That 230 box that now became 130, you are going to be like swimming in high-end gear. It's amazing. It is just swimming in it. And so I love the raid. I agree with everyone that changes need to be made. Like, I understood the uproar, absolutely. But man, now that those changes are made, people are going to understand why the top couple of guilds were like, yeah, this isn't so bad.
All right. I'll take you on that, man. I'll take you.
Yeah.
So what's your Star Wars story? When did you find Star Wars? Who introduced you? What got you to fall in love with Star Wars when you found it?
Oh man, I was so young. This is gonna sound stupid, but like I was so young that I honestly, I can't remember the first time I watched it. Like my entire memory, I've enjoyed it, because I was what? I wasn't born for the first one. I was 1 for episode 5, and then so it's just always kind of been there. It's been there from the beginning. So, as a little baby, I literally had a Baby Yoda, the true Baby Yoda, as like one of those little stuffed animals.
Yeah.
So it's just, I wish I could tell you, like, oh man, when I was 6 years old, I sat down and I watched Empire, and it changed my life, and It's just always been there.
Yeah.
There's never not been a Star Wars in my life.
You know what? That even though a lot of us do remember it, I think that idea that really it's been part of the fabric of really who I am as a person since, I remember when I was 5, my dad took me to the drive-in theater and we saw the original Star Wars, and
oh, nice.
Yeah, the whole experience is ingrained in my mind. It's one of my earliest experiences I remember, and it's kind of crafted me ever since then, which sounds crazy because it's just a movie, but
right.
Yeah, it's been a part of me ever since then. So, well, what would be if you were going to give one piece of advice or one observation to the player base today, based on where you are with the game, where the game is right now, what would that be?
Patience. So, the trick with these games are they create frustration mechanics to get you to feel frustrated and want to spend. And if you have money, great, go ahead. If you have available income, go spend to your heart's content. But even people with money, like if you're a dolphin or you spend a little but not a lot, and patience. I've been playing this game for 7 years. Rushing has never gotten me much. Come up with a plan, say I want to have this character or this gear by this day, and as long as you hit that day, like cool, you hit your plan. I was talking to somebody else in our Discord server just today, and they were talking about the old raid rewards. And they were like, it's anti-free to play, which it was. But they're like, we'll never catch up. And I'm sitting there at 11.2 million GP, and I can tell you, I feel like I can't catch up. I'm so far behind the rosters I'm playing, both in mods and relics and datacrons, that you are always going to feel that way. So as long as you're hitting your goals, that's all you need to do. If you set the goals and you work towards them, you'll be happy. It doesn't matter that, there's now a 12.5 million GP account that you'll never catch, because you know what? You're never going to catch them.
That's something, I don't know if I talk about that directly, but it makes sense with everything we talk about in the channel. My channel really we are geared more toward those early and mid gamers. We have a lot of late gamers on the channel too, but it's just, you've got to focus on what you're doing, and it is a grind. The game is built as a grind. That's the whole point of the whole thing,
Yeah.
Well, man, I don't have much else for you. Thanks for coming on and spending some time, and definitely everybody go check out SoloBass's Twitch channel. You'll enjoy him playing at a higher level of Grand Arena than you're watching me play right now. And
maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Well, some days probably yes,
Higher
some days
GP
probably no.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, man. Well, have a good day out there. Everybody, thanks for jumping on. I appreciate all of you. We'll talk to you very soon. Catch you on the next one. And always remember, Nooch too good.